Hi guys, it has been a while. I am Lindsay, also known as Pink Stitcher. I've not been around for a long time. We moved house in June. Yeah, beginning of June. I think the last time I recorded was like the week before, and it's now the 24th of October. I'm not gonna apologise. It's difficult moving a 4-bedroom house to a different area, getting kids into school, and I've been pretty ill. I might go into that at a later date, but yeah, I've not been feeling well, and not up to recording. I will record another video in the next few days. This is simply a whip parade. For two reasons. The first of which is that I need to organise what I've got both physically and in my head. And I've got sort of stuff everywhere and new projects and notes sitting with threads and charts, and I needed to sort of take stock of what I had on the go and what I wanted to focus on. And the other reason is that Tash, the Star-Crossed Stitcher, told me to, and she is the boss of me, so I best get on it. I've got a big giant pile of whips. I think I've got them all. I've got a couple which I basically abandoned, which you may have seen before, which you won't see in this because I've just given up on them. One of which was after the ball, which is upstairs in a drawer. I'm probably going to repurpose the fabric. And the other one was, I think it was Susukari, which was a Heaven and Earth, and I had one column done. Oh no, I tell you what it was. It was a Stitch to Time. Anyway, I am going to start with, these are in no particular order. This is my most recent start. This is a Long Dog sampler, and this is Opus Magnuson. It's an Icelandic sampler. I started it 2 days ago. It's quite large, and this is on Zweigart 20 count, easy count or pre-gridded fabric, which actually, I don't know if you can see the squares. This piece of fabric has been through the washing machine 3 times on 60 degrees. I have hand washed it in practically boiling water and I still can't get the grid lines out. I've washed it to soften it up because usually it's too stiff for me to work on. It shreds my thread and I really don't like working on it. But it was a piece of fabric that I had. I had a metre of it and I cut it into pieces. But yeah, if anybody knows how to get the grid lines out of this, I will be eternally grateful. Because it's not a full coverage piece. It's almost full coverage, but it's not. Next is, what have we got here? This is Giant Harry Potter by Cloud's Factory. I don't think I've touched this since you saw it last. Again, this is going to be enormous. I do quite like it. I'm not terribly keen on working on it. I've got to be in the mood, but it might get finished eventually. And that's on 32 count, even weave, and that sort of, it's a greyish green colour. I can't remember what it's called. Right, next is my chatelaine. This is Persian Iris Garden, and I have worked on this a little bit since you saw it last. Here we go. I started stitching on the tempo because I was bored of doing these doors, gateways. Lovely thing to work on, should work on it more. This is done with the cold floor thread, so it's all the NPI silks and the water lilies and the dinky dyes and the Gloriana and whatever else it calls for. The only parts that are DMC are this yellow in the columns, and that was actually, it calls for DMC in there. There we go. That's 3. Don't think I've worked on this. This is Mirabilia Autumn Queen. That rear end. Might have done a little bit. I don't like my fabric choice. Not that there's anything wrong with the fabric, it's a Pole Stitches fabric. And it's amethyst, phantom amethyst or something like that, I want to say. It was a club colourway. So there we go, that's the bottom of her dress. So next is, I'm sure one you've seen everywhere. This is a Save the Stitches Blackwork Journey. It's Elizabeth Almond. I do love this, it's beautiful. It's difficult to get into working on it, and I don't know why. Sometimes it's really frustrating. And maybe I should just do like one square at a time, and they are just, I know that you always do one square at a time, but do one square and put it away and then pick it up, or have a go with one square every 2 weeks or something. Still take me like 10 years to finish it because it's a damn long piece of fabric, but there we go. Okay. What is this? Right, this is Around the World in 80 Stitches. I've not worked on this, I don't think. And this is by Papillon Creations. I'm still on part 2, and there are 24 parts, I think. So, big giant fail. I've really got to be in the mood to work on this. I've really got to be in the mood to work on everything. It very much depends on what I feel like doing at the time. But it's not one I pick up very often. Right, this is Past and Present by Rosewood Manor. And I am doing this as a stitch along with Tash the Star-Crossed Stitcher. So I've got all the large alphabet done. I've got some of the black work done, smaller alphabet, and this is pattern darning. So you can see from the back, it looks like that. So it's no cross stitching, it is pattern darning. There we go. Long way to go on that. But it stitches up really quickly. I think I was surprised at the size, but it's because it's on a 28 count fabric and I'm not used to stitching on 28 count, and the stitches look enormous. So actually, it's large, but it's not as large as I thought it was. This is 28 count cream even weave. Next, this is something that you haven't seen before. Which way switch? This is Treasured Friends sampler by Darlene O'Steen. And this is reversible. Although I've got ends poking out, it is exactly the same on the back as it is on the front. So it takes a bit of concentration to do. But the bands are quite quick, they're not long. And I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them done. This is a Montenegrin stitch. Here we go. And that is on random linen that I bought on eBay. I think it's 32 count. It looks like 32 count. And it's a sort of tanny colour, I suppose. Right, next. This is the Papillon Creations Mystery Sampler. That was 5 parts in the gift of stitching. And if you have seen my videos before, you know my issue with this. This whole side from about here down, including that great big thing in the corner, is wrong. It's off by about 3 or 4 stitches. And I need to crack on and finish it. So what I'm doing is I'm putting in the middle, which is the 5th part, and then I'm going to see how much I can get away with at the other side. I'm going to try and move as little as possible, but I think I'm going to have to pull that out, and it's about 700 stitches or so. It's a bit of a pain, but it is not the end of the world. This is on repurposed even weave 32 count. Yeah, 32 count fabric, which is nice actually. It's very soft. I can't remember what it is. I've had it for years. Okay, this is tiny little start. This is part 1 of the Garden Club series by Blackbird Designs. And it's called Basket of Cherries. I'm going to put all of there's 12 of them, and I'm going to put them all on here. So I do that, and that's that way around, sorry. There we go. This is a piece of XG Designs fabric. It is a club colourway. I want to say it's called White Mustard or Mustard something. And it's 40 count. And it's lovely. And it still smells nice. Okay. Next, another tiny restart. Sometimes I just need to start things to get that thing out of my system. You can barely see this. This is another Blackbird Designs, and it's the first part of Anniversaries of the Heart. It's called Snow Garden, I think. Now, these are actually the called for colours. It's not really showing up in this fabric, but the issue that I've got, and again it's that way around, the issue that I've got is that all the other ones are darker. That's the odd one out. It's sort of a snowy scene, and it's if I changed the fabric to a darker fabric, you wouldn't see the rest of it. So I'm just going to go with it. I've tried it on different fabrics, and I've done floss tosses with different threads, and actually I'm just going to go with what's charted, I think. You can see it. It's just, it doesn't stand out terribly well. So that is the first part of Anniversaries of the Heart. Again, I'm going to put all of them on there. Next, and sorry, that is another piece of XG Designs club fabric. It was the club colourway in February. This is, it's either Once Upon a Time or the Storytime sampler by Frosted Pumpkin. Pumpkin, I want to say, but I may be wrong. I think it's actually Clyde's Factory. Who knows? One of the two. I find them sort of interchangeable, to be honest. And this is Alice and the Gimp Rabbit. Obviously, I've changed some things. And this is on, I think it's 32 count, or maybe 28, sort of the spotty roll linen that was a gift from Tash. And basically I was just messing around. Okay, this is started a long time ago and messed up. I started stitching this on a train, on a long train journey, on like a 5-hour train journey, and the whole thing is completely wrong. This is stitched in Weeks Dye Works and Gloriana. Again, it's another piece of, is it 40 count? Yeah. Maybe. No, it's not, because I've got 2 threads. It must be 32 count. This is another piece of XG Designs. I think it's avocado. It's avocado. So these parts are supposed to be, I think, 2 stitches or 1 stitch longer than they are, so this doesn't fit. So as soon as I tried to put the thing in the middle, it didn't. I realised that I'd made a mistake. And this is Quaker Sampler by someone. Sorry, I don't remember, but it's a Quaker Sampler, and I'm choosing my own threads. The pattern, the photograph on the front of the chart, it's done in red, it's done in one colour, but I decided to do it in different colours. I think it was basically a sort of choose your own colours thing. I might get back to it at some point. I need to rip out and start again. We all know how motivating that is. Speaking of motivation, this thing is becoming the bane of my life. This is Magical Creatures Calendar by Clyde's Factory. So I've got January, February. I finished March, like last month or something. I still had all this blue and glow in the dark stuff and the little flames to put in. Have I finished May? Yes, I finished May as well. So I got in the owl and the little globe and all these little floaty bits. And I got in some more of the border. I'm glad that it's slowly getting done. I might finish it before I die at some point. Don't like stitching on it. I don't know what it is about Clyde's Factory, Frosted Pumpkin, these sort of things. I think it's the amount of colour changing and the negative space. There's a lot of stitch 3 stitches here in this colour and then count over 18 stitches and stitch 2 stitches here in this colour, and I make so many mistakes. It's, you know, it's not enjoyable. And here we go, another Mirabilia. It says South Seas Mermaid, and she is that way up. This is a piece of Pole Stitches fabric. Again, it was a club colourway. She's got some pretty beads. I started her a year ago, next month, for November. She's very sparkly. That's all Krennic, you can see, and the fabric's sparkly as well. I don't know why I've not picked that up again. I think it's partly due to my focus on another Mirabilia that I would like to get finished. Since we're on a Mirabilia roll, I have done a bit on this. I've done quite a bit on this actually. This is Damask Roses by Mirabilia. And this is only 32 count Swigart. I think it's raw linen. So I say I've done quite a bit. I've done all of this part. The colours on this I love. I just absolutely adore the colours. This was the first Mirabilia. It's got no beads on it, no Krennic, no water lilies, it's just DMC. She's quite big though, but she's not unenjoyable to stitch. And that is the called for linen, and it's no Zweigart, it's the Permin, it's the stiff linen. And I actually quite like working on that linen. I find the holes really easy to see, and I don't stitch in hand, so I'm not handling the fabric all the time. I know a lot of people don't, it's not their favourite, but I quite like it. Right, here we go. This is the Grey Lady. I've got no further because, well, maybe I have actually, I don't know. I feel like I've got no further. Honestly, I don't really like it anymore. But I'm loath to bin it because actually I've done half of it, more than half of it probably. Maybe I'll like it when I've finished it, but I've got to be in the mood for stitching full coverage. It's a Heaven and Earth, by the way, and it's a quick stitch. Oh god, I can't remember who the artwork's by. It's awful. I'm trying to see the chart in my head. The Grey Lady. Nope. I've got to be really, really in the mood for stitching on full coverage pieces, and I have not been for a very long time. I'm discovering that my stitching style is changing and what I want to stitch on is changing. So yeah, they're not calling to me at the moment. I have, technically I've got 5 Heaven and Earth started, and I've basically just abandoned 3 of them because I'm not ever going to put another stitch in them, because I'm not ever going to finish them, because I don't have the motivation. So thankfully I wasn't that far along in any of them. Right, since we're on Heaven and Earth, here's the other one. There we go. This is Ex Machina. Now, I don't know what to do with this, but I don't need to make a decision. It's not doing anybody any harm sitting there unfinished. I need to get past the clock, basically, and then I think I probably would be okay. It's confetti hell. But I absolutely love the picture. Now, I could just buy the poster, but I feel like I just want to do one. I just want to finish one like that because it's such an achievement to do however many 70 pages or however many pages it is, and for it to look like a photograph or look like the artwork, but it's actually stitched. So as I say, it's not doing anybody any harm sitting in a drawer, and maybe in 2 years' time I'll decide that all I want to stitch on is full coverage pieces for the next 10 years, and then I'll, might actually get something finished. Okay. Next. I don't know whether you've seen this or not. You might have done. I can't remember. I think you did. This is Halloween at Hawthorne Hollow, and this is stitched on XQ Designs fabric. It's on 40 count. I need to stop sniffing it. This is another club colour. I think this one's white mustard actually. I don't know what the other one is. Oh god, it's so good. I'm pretty close to getting the first block finished. I was stitching on this when we moved house, so it got put away, and that's why I stopped. You can't really see the ghosties very well, but you know, whatever. This is just done in DMC. I do like the snake and Mr. Skellington. He's actually wrong. Like, his top half's the wrong colour, but I'm not going to change it. I'm trying to think how many parts there are in that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think, because there's a big double one in the middle with the whipped cheese. So yes, that's Halloween at Hawthorne Hollow by Carriage House Sampling. Next is red. I got a lot done on this. I finished the top, basically. I got all the 1/1 skin done. It looks lumpy, but you know, there's a little I can do about that. It looks fine from a distance, basically. I had to put these beads on, but my thread snapped in the frame and they fell off, the treasures. I got right down to there, and then I started on the bottom. And then I got a bit burnt out. This is stitched on 32 count Da Vinci by Picture This Plus. And I'm very happy with that fabric choice. It goes very well. There's my ever so messy back. I think the 1/1 skin was worth it. Actually, it didn't take too long. She's not got a huge amount of skin. Right, onwards and upwards. This is the Smith Sampler by the Scarlet Letter. I started in the middle. I don't normally start in the middle, but I started in the middle. And this is stitched 1/2 on 46 count club fabric from XQ Designs. It's very crimply. It's a lovely grey. I think it might be Sampler Grey or something, but it's a lovely colour. And it really pops those colours out very well. So yeah, just a little bit of a start. And those are just the DMCs. I didn't get the code for silks because as much as I like that project, I didn't. Sometimes I feel like it's worth spending the money on the silk, and other times I don't. And sometimes I want to start something right away, and I'm not going to spend 3 months saving up for the thread. Next is Summer Schoolhouse Part 1 by With Thy Needle and Thread. You've seen this before. This is stitched 1/1, and it calls to be stitched 1/1. The instructions say stitch it 1/1, and it is stitched in mainly gassed Gentle Art sampler thread, but I think there's a couple of weeks dye works in there as well. And this is stitched on 28 count sheep by XQ Designs. There are another 3 parts to this. This is just the first one. I love working on this, but I've lost the threads. I've not lost the threads. They're here somewhere. I just don't quite know where. So that's one of my tasks, is to go looking for that. Right, just a couple left. This is page 1 of His Eye is on the Sparrow by Heartstring Samplery. I started this a few weeks ago, and I kept going, and I stitched the whole page, and I'm very pleased with myself. This uses all the called for threads, so it's all Gentle Arts, and can't remember if there's Classic Colourworks. I don't think there is. It's all Gentle Arts and Weeks Dye Works. I like the deer. I just love the colours. Such lovely colours. I think that's a dodo. I like Mr. Fancy Pants penguin. Peacock. The cow was a ball ache, but never mind. I do like the deer. I think he's my favourite. And this basket of flowers is really cool. So yes, that's page 1 of some. And this is on 40 count. It's a white garland in that I dyed myself, which is why it smells like vanilla and coffee. And it's stitched 1/2. I very much like this stitching with one thread. It makes your life so much easier. Right, last piece. This is the very beautiful Sarah Brazier by Hands Across the Sea Samplers. How gorgeous is that? So this was a gift, as in the chart was a gift from Tash, the Star-Crossed Stitcher. The fabric, which is half a yard, is 46 count brown paper, which was I custom ordered it. It's a custom dye from XU Designs, and I think it looks really, really good on that fabric. I basically said to her, look, I'm stitching this, please do me some fabric. I need a half yard, because scarily 40 count, it won't fit on a half yard of 40 count. It will just fit on a half yard of 46 count. So that is on 46 count. And I am using the called for threads, which are Virosois Soie d'Alger silks. And they're like butter. They're so lovely to work with. So that's page 1 to where the satin stitch ends, and page 2 started. And I would like to crack on with this. I would like to get it finished. It's quite quick to stitch because there's a lot of negative space. So a page isn't as much as a page would be on, you know, another project like Heaven and Earth or Mirabilia, or, you know, something of that nature. Because especially in the top part, the motifs are sort of few and far between. But it does involve a lot of counting. Sarah didn't care so much to fix her mistakes. So it is reproduction sampler, so it's charted as it is. And it's not symmetrical. You know, things are off the borders, like one part's 6/14 and the next part's 12 and one part's 13, and you can't just sort of go in a rhythm. You've got to count and double count and triple count every time, which sometimes is a bit wearing, but it's such a beautiful thing and it's such a lovely stitch. I'm really, really enjoying it. So that is my WIP parade. I'm going to go now and figure out what I am going to take on the stitching retreat that I'm going to day after tomorrow. Any suggestions, let me know. And I will be back possibly after the retreat. Actually, I might film a little bit at the retreat. But I will be back in the next few days just to give you sort of life update and what my plans are with stitching and so on, and also to do the winners of the giveaway that I did in the last video. I am aware that that's outstanding, and you know, I can only apologise. I have, you know, I've just felt like balls basically for the last few months, so my priorities have been elsewhere. Anyway, thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye now.